over the tools you might use as a responder at a traffic incident. This is the next essential ingredient in our overall objective of working better together to improve safety at these incidents.
In Module 2, we talked about the traffic incident management area and where to park. Fire engine upstream closest to the incident, then law enforcement, road rangers, or other public works vehicles. EMS is downstream closest to the incident, and then any towing and recovery vehicles. All the vehicles are parked straight except fire rescue, which parks at an angle.
Now we'll focus on vehicle lighting.
The emergency lights, that gives them a notification that, hey, there's a problem up ahead.
We do have emergency lights which stay on all the time, day or night. But we do have scene lights as well that try to light the scene up as much as possible.
All the lights on the scene, you really lights you up and it makes you visible.
We have our lights and we call assistance if need be for additional lights.
When you get there at night, you're going to have to pull up your scene lights. The trucks stand out a little bit more at nighttime because of the lights and the strobes and everything that's on it.
You want to make sure that all of your lights are on the car, as high visibility as possible, or on the motorcycle, all of your lights.
Obviously, you want your lights activated while you're at the scene.
Anything for high visibility, that is one of the most important aspects of protecting that scene and the people involved as well as the deputies.
Remember to turn on your flashing emergency lights when blocking travel lanes or parked on the shoulder. You can turn off emergency lighting once you're out of travel lanes or the paved shoulder. Your emergency lighting helps warn motorists of potential danger, but also helps guide them to a safe direction of travel. More is not always better when it comes to red and blue lights at the incident scene. It can create confusion if there are too many vehicles on the scene, all with lights going. When you have multiple responders parked at the scene, you could have the first and last vehicle in the incident scene using flashers. Some emergency lighting packages use directional lighting sequences that can help to direct drivers to desired travel lanes.
At night, we may need to use our headlights to illuminate the scene. Fire apparatus may also have spotlights or light towers to help illuminate the work area.
It's really important to make sure you divert bright lights toward the scene and away from the traffic that might be approaching from either direction. Motorists can be confused or blinded, causing a secondary crash or worse, danger to responders who are on the scene. This is what it looks like to a motorist.
Another important thing to remember is to wear your safety gear day and night.
As far as safety apparel, upon arrival at the scene, we have our reflective safety vests.
During these type of instances, when we need high visibility, it's high visibility for the deputy as well as protecting the scene and the citizens. Especially at night, they're reflective vests. They reflect with oncoming traffic headlights.
We have reflective vests as well that we wear.
We're all going to wear safety vests.
I have a vest that I keep here over my door, a yellow vest that says sheriff on it. It's a reflective vest. I put that on so it makes me more visible.
Look quickly. How many people would a motorist see? How about now?
Absolutely. Night changes everything.
Remember to pay special attention to using lights and safety apparel at night.
In rain, fog, and smoke too.
Marking the area with traffic cones, signs, or message boards also helps us to be more visible. This outlines the scene so we can work safely, warns motorists, and guides them to the open travel lanes. Traffic cones are a valuable tool.
Once I get on scene, I try to use as many safety tools as possible, meaning cones.
This is where we keep the cones on this engine.
If you're dealing with a curve or a hill, then you want to make sure your first one is far enough that somebody approaching that curve or hill can have a chance to know that there's something going on ahead.
Make a diminishing lane, kind of start to clear it off so they kind of they'll see it, they'll slow down, and they'll kind of get the picture of where to go.
You would set it up just like a lane closure. You'll see your Florida Department of Transportation folks setting up a lane closure for when they're doing road construction. Obviously, you're going to start inward and you're going to work your way outward, and that's basically allowing a motorist to merge outward or to get away from you.
Here are some suggested numbers for cones that responders might carry in their vehicles. Law enforcement, 6. Fire rescue, 15. Road rangers or public works, 20. Towing and recovery, 15. If they're available, you can use collapsible cones to save space. And remember, that you'll need to share cones to cover the whole incident management area.
There is no standard when it comes to carrying cones, signs, or other traffic control devices. Every agency does something different. While space may be tight on your engine or in the trunk of your car, consider these tools just as valuable as your turnout gear, latex gloves, or ballistic vest. They too might save your life. So how many cones do you need at the scene? In transportation engineering, there are formulas and tables that guide maintenance workers on how long a taper should be based on the speed limit of the road. In our world, as first responders, we don't have the luxury of pre-planning, unlimited resources, or time. The TIM handbook has a reference table for the number and spacing of the cones at the scene. These are guidelines to help you stay safe. The number you use and how you space them may vary depending on the scene conditions.
The bottom line is that using any kind of traffic control device is better than none. It can only help free up personnel from having to manually direct traffic.
Since you'll likely only have a few cones at your disposal, you'll want to space them depending on the type of road and the speed limit. Any taper is better than no taper. Remember to adjust taper lengths when you're close to an interchange or an intersection, when you're on a ramp or a curve, or anytime motorist views are obstructed. An easy way to measure distance is to use the skip marks. They're 10 feet long and 30 feet in between. Your cone placement will evolve the scene as responders arrive. Secure the scene, clear the incident, and clear the scene.
The bottom line with cones is use them if you've got them. And remember to share resources with other responders. They could save your life.
In an ideal world, crashes wouldn't happen on our roadways, and innocent people, including responders, would never be hurt. We know that is not reality. When you're at the scene, using the tools available will reduce the risk of responder injury and secondary crashes. Making the most of what you have is the important thing. It may be just you, your vest, your vehicle, and your vehicle's emergency lights, and if you have traffic cones, they are definitely a big plus. A warning sign or arrow board are probably a luxury, but factor them into your scene if they're available. While we don't want to dictate what you or your department carries, you all know that the more resources you have, the better. And if you have them, use them.